Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, namaskar and adab to all my friends, from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. Many times I have people who get across to me for their consultation and ask me questions on certain areas which are not picked up by many others. And these are more finer elements and deeper elements of astrology, and not always asked about or even checked by many astrologers. And so once in a while when I get somebody asking me about those elements concerning your horoscope, then it makes one sit up and take notice that, okay, when was the last time I faced this question regarding this particular area of astrology? And some of these areas are not asked about because many people don't know about them. One such element of astrology comes from one of the old ancient astrological texts, which is the Jyotir Vidya Bharanam, which is also used to an extent in South Indian astrology or used more often in Kerala, which also describes about the DAGDHA Rashis. Now the DAGDHA Rashis are used by astrologers across the world also, however to a very less extent, and many people don't know how to read the DAGDHA Rashis well. Calculation is a different thing altogether. So let's today talk about what does a DAGDHA Rashi mean and what is its importance, how is it calculated, and how should one look into it, how should one read it, and how can one manifest the DAGDHA Rashi in your horoscope. Firstly, what does the word DAGDHA mean? The word DAGDHA means burnt Rashi. Now, how can a Rashi be burnt? A Rashi can be burnt by a certain description of it, or a certain situation that it is in, or a certain condition that the Rashi is in, because of which it becomes a burnt Rashi. So the Rashis which fall in certain tithis have been described as DAGDHA Rashis or burnt Rashis. What are tithis? Tithis are nothing but periods which have been delineated from one Shukla Paksh to another Shukla Paksh, with of course the Krishna Paksh in between, which means from one new moon to another new moon with a Purnima in between, which means the full moon in between. So the period between a new moon, where the sun and moon are supposed to be in conjunction or coming together, 0 degrees between them, to the full moon and then back. So in short, the waxing moon, where the moon is increasing in size every day from the crescent moon becoming the full moon, and then decreasing in size becoming the waning moon, and then ending up again in the new moon. So these 30 days of period from a new moon to another new moon is called as the various tithi periods. When this is divided into 30 parts, depending on the difference between the longitude of moon to the sun, and these are divided into 12 degrees each. So 12 degrees into 30 days become 360 degrees of the zodiac. And so these 30 periods from one new moon to another new moon are called tithis, and each tithi has been described as having certain DAGDHA Rashis. Except the new moon and the full moon, where the sun and moon's difference is not taken or seen as 0, the other 14 days from the new moon to the full moon and the next 14 days from the full moon to the new moon are seen as the tithi periods, which means 14 tithis between the new moon to the full moon and 14 tithis or periods between the full moon to the new moon. And so these tithis are repeated. It is like this: if you are climbing 14 stairs up the ladder and then you have to come down the same ladder, then each step, when you put your foot on a step to climb up, and when you come down, you will also come down on the same steps. That means you'll have to put your foot on the same step while going up, and you'll also put your foot on the same step while coming down. So which means each step is repeated in your going up and coming down. So same thing, when you go from new moon to the full moon, certain tithis, 14 tithis will be repeated when you look at from the Purnima or the full moon to the new moon again. These 14 periods are called as the DAGDHA Rashis, and they are looked at as in pairs each, which means out of the 14 pairs, which means when you subtract the new moon and the full moon, rest of the 14 days, you will have one tithi, one period each, which is given as a DAGDHA Rashi period. Now the DAGDHA Rashis are not one but two signs each are termed as the DAGDHA Rashis. So the DAGDHA Rashis are named as Padyami or Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi and so on, and ending with the Chaturdashi or the 14th DAGDHA Rashi. And each Rashi has a pair each, except Chaturdashi where the Rashis are 4. So each pair of the Rashis falling in a certain tithi are called as the DAGDHA Rashi. For example, the Padyami or the Prathama Rashi, DAGDHA Rashi, has two signs which are the DAGDHA Rashis, which are the DAGDHA Rashi pair, and these are for the Prathama, Tula and Makara, which means the Libra Rashi and the Capricorn Rashi are seen as the Libra sign and the Capricorn sign are seen as a pair called the DAGDHA Rashi for the Prathama Rashi, for the Prathama Tithiya or the Padyami Tithi. Similarly, each of the Dvitiya, Tritiya, each one of them has a pair of Rashis which are termed as the DAGDHA Rashi till the 13th Rashi, which is the Triyodashi. After that, the 14th DAGDHA Rashis are not a pair but 4, which are the 4 signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces. So now which tithi you are born in among these 14 DAGDHA Rashi periods will give you which signs in your horoscope are the DAGDHA Rashis or the burnt Rashis or the burnt signs. Now these are not related to an ascendant, because the solar calendar is 365 days but the lunar calendar is only 355 days roughly, which means that for each ascendant, depending on which time you are born, which period you are born in, your DAGDHA Rashi pairs can be different and will be different. So for example, if you are born in the Cancer ascendant and say in the Prathama Rashi, then your DAGDHA Rashis will obviously be Libra and Capricorn, because for the Padyami or the Prathama, DAGDHA Rashi pairs are Libra and Capricorn. However, if you are born in the Cancer ascendant but the tithi in which you are born is the Navami, the 9th tithi, then the DAGDHA Rashi pairs are Simha and Vrishchika, which means the pair is Leo and Scorpio signs, and so then these two signs become the burnt Rashi signs. Now what does the burnt Rashi signs mean? It means that if whichever signs fall in the DAGDHA Rashi sign pairs, those signs will not be giving you good results, auspicious results or full results to the effect that they can give you. So whichever house they fall in, that house can give you challenging results or less results, and the lord of the sign will also not give you great results based on where it is placed in. Say for example, if you are born in the Cancer sign and in the Navami Tithi, then the DAGDHA Rashis for a Cancer ascendant person being born in the Navami Tithi are Leo and Scorpio. So which is the house for a Cancer sign person, which are the Leo and Scorpio signs? The Leo is the 2nd house and Scorpio is the 5th house, which means for this particular person born in the Cancer sign, the 2nd house being one of the Rashis of the DAGDHA Rashi pair, which is Leo, that will give challenges related to the 2nd house, which means challenges in family, challenges in income, challenges in savings, challenges in following your own family traditions, family values, and also the Scorpio sign which falls in the 5th house. So matters related to children, matters related to speculative investments, matters related to the change of job, all these can become challenging or give you less results, which means that in the results of these houses and these signs and the lords of these signs, wherever they are placed, you may get less results or you may even face challenging results. So for this particular person, Cancer ascendant and being born in the Navami Tithi, and the DAGDHA Rashis are the 2nd house Leo and the 5th house Scorpio, then the second house and the fifth house results becoming challenging. Based on where their lords are, you will also face challenges accordingly. Say for example, if the second lord, which is Leo sign Lord Sun, gets placed in the 10th house in Aries sign. Now, even though Sun is exalted in the Aries sign and being placed in the 10th house, where it also has a high directional strength, yet because the Rashi here is the DAGDHA Rashi, Leo sign is the DAGDHA Rashi, so the lord of the Rashi also becomes in a tight situation, in the challenging situation. And so in spite of Sun going in exaltation in the 10th house in Aries sign, yet because of being the lord of a DAGDHA Rashi, you will face challenges in your career as well. Now this is easier said than done. Results of the DAGDHA Rashi sign and the lords are always not challenging and are not always bad, because these are more finer elements of astrology. It is like missing the big picture and chasing smaller things. It is like losing pounds, being penny wise and pound foolish. So one has to be careful in how much one reads into the DAGDHA Rashi results, especially how which houses these signs fall in, and where do the lords of these signs place. Now DAGDHA Rashis can also give you good results based on placements of planets in them and how planets are placed in them. For example, if the DAGDHA Rashis are placed in the Trik Bhavas, which is 6, 8 or 12, or 3, 6, 8 and 12, then these are supposed to give you less challenging results and even auspicious results. But if they fall in the Kendra houses or the Trine houses, then they can give you challenging results. But if a malefic is placed in any of the DAGDHA Rashis, the burnt Rashis, then it is said that they will give you good results, especially if the malefic is in direct motion. But if a benefic is placed in the DAGDHA Rashis, then the benefic can also give you less results or challenging results. But if the benefic goes retrograde in the DAGDHA Rashis, then it can give you good results. So if there are planets which are placed in the DAGDHA Rashis, say it's a conjunction in the DAGDHA Rashis of one malefic and one benefic, and the malefic is direct but the benefic is retrograde, then in the Dasha and Antardasha of the benefic and malefic, you can get very good results. Now for the benefit of everyone, I am also giving you the table of which Tithi you are born in, which pair becomes a DAGDHA Rashi pair for you. So it's important to look into your chart, in the Lagna chart, which is the Tithi you are born in. So various online softwares, when they create the chart for you, they will also give you the Tithi in which you are born in. So when you look at the Tithi, and if you see whether you are born in the Prathami or Dvitiya or Tritiya or Chaturthi, or born in Navami or Chaturdashi, based on which Tithi you are born in, you can say which is your pair of the DAGDHA Rashis. Or if you are born in the Chaturdashi, the 14th Tithi, then whether you have 4 DAGDHA Rashis, and based on that you can calculate which houses these signs fall in, and then where the lords are placed. Then look at whether there are any planets placed in them, whether they are malefic or benefic planets. But if they are empty, then where their lords are placed. Basis that also fathom that there may be slightly less auspicious results you may get, and you may get slightly more challenging results from the DAGDHA Rashis, especially during the Dasha and Antardashas and the transits of other planets over these houses, especially the malefic planets transit over the DAGDHA Rashis, then they can also give you challenging results. Now again, as I said at the start, too much is made sometimes of small finer elements in astrology, and one needs to be more careful how much deeper you want to delve in, and not to miss the trees for the bushes, or not to miss the forest for the bushes. When I was learning astrology, I was told that looking into the DAGDHA Rashis and trying to fathom results from that is like a person having 1,000 gold coins and passing through a jungle a jungle which is full of bandits and dacoits, and after he reaches crosses the forest and he counts the coins, he finds that one coin is missing, and then to find or to search for that coin, he goes back into the forest to search for that one coin, without thinking of the 999 coins he already has with him, and taking the risk of losing all those coins and losing his life just for the sake of searching for that one coin, without keeping in mind that there are wild animals, it is dark, there may be bandits and dacoits, and he should be grateful that he passed through the jungle safely the first time around. So looking in the finer elements of astrology, in small things and nitpicking, and then worrying too much about the small things, and because of the small areas being too anxious, becoming too worried and taking the wrong choices or taking wrong turns in life, making wrong decisions in life and spoiling the entire life, it's like, you know, being penny wise and pound foolish. So my suggestion is, look at the DAGDHA Rashis more from an educational perspective, to learn more and to understand more and more as an astrological student, and just to keep in mind what houses and signs can be challenging for you from the DAGDHA Rashi's perspective, but not to read too much into it, because reading too much into smaller, finer elements is like missing the trees or the bushes. So friends, look into your own horoscope, understand the DAGDHA Rashis better, but don't make too much out of it, and keep this as a very small element out of predictive astrology. Many times these are used more for mundane astrology or at a global level rather than an individual level, and keep that in mind when you fathom what kind of results you may get out of these. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me, the links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.